Alex Eala has just made it completely official with Nike, and the way this whole thing went down is sending shockwaves through the entire tennis world.
Because it also depends what court you're on, that you feel the noise and things.
So the other day with Alex Eala, that's been a talk.
What if I told you that Nike just brought a 20-year-old girl to tears inside their own headquarters? Not Aryna Sabalenka, not Iga Swiatek, not any of the Grand Slam champions currently dominating the rankings. Alex Eala, a girl from Quezon City, Philippines, world number 31. Walking into Nike's legendary athlete tunnel in Oregon last week, the same hallway where the greatest sports icons of all time are immortalized, she saw something that stopped her dead in her tracks. Her own face, staring back at her. Full portrait, hanging on the wall, right next to the legends.
Because it also depends what court you're on, that you feel the noise and things.
So the other day with Alex Eala, that's been a talk.
Nike had one message for her: history in full bloom. Here's where it gets interesting. At the exact same time, Nike is rolling out the red carpet for Eala. The actual world number one, Aryna Sabalenka, a four-time Grand Slam champion with a 63-12 record last season, went in front of cameras at the WTA Finals and said this: "Unfortunately, next season it's just not going to be that special for me."
Maybe we should just start messaging Nike, Instagram, and putting some pressure on. But let's wait for 2027 because that year going to be sick. And yeah, unfortunately, next season it's not gonna be that special for me. But exactly.
Fans were then told to flood Nike's Instagram, to beg them, on her behalf, the reigning champion, begging for a custom outfit. So what is Nike doing? Why is the biggest sports brand on the planet ignoring their reigning champion, while building an entire legacy around a player who hasn't even won a Grand Slam yet? That's exactly what we're getting into today. By the end of this video, you're going to understand Nike's master plan. This was never really about tennis. It's about who owns the next billion fans. Let's start from the beginning. To understand why Nike is doing this, you need to understand who Alex Eala actually is. Last year, as a wild card, meaning she wasn't even supposed to be there, Eala walked into the Miami Open, ranked outside the top 100. Then she did the unthinkable. She beat Madison Keys, then Iga Swiatek, a five-time Grand Slam champion, in straight sets. The crowd lost their minds. Overnight, she became the first Filipino in history to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal.
Filipina tennis ace Alex Eala has officially broken into the WTA top 40. Alex Eala is set to compete in the singles and doubles events.
With energy like that, you don't get tired, so it was good.
And Alex, so good to have you out here for the first time. How special was that?
Having too much crowd on this or any other tennis tournament is a very good problem to have.
The first wild card ever to beat three major champions in straight sets at a single event. She wasn't just a tennis player anymore, she was a phenomenon. Every single second of it was watched by Nike, but here's what separates Eala from every other rising star on tour. When she plays, she doesn't just bring fans, she brings armies. Entire stadiums in Oceania and the Middle East, packed with Filipino flags, Filipino chants, Filipino pride. People who had never watched a tennis match in their lives were suddenly glued to their screens at 3 a.m. just to watch this girl compete.
The big courts with big names, it's difficult. It's not easy to manage that. But again, it's a good problem to have, to be honest. Let's just imagine if there's a lack of people coming, or that stands are empty. That's a bigger problem.
I do my best. I do what I can, and just if I see an opening, I think it's important that I go for it.
Carlos Alcaraz is on Nike's roster. Jannik Sinner too. Some of the biggest names in the sport. Yet none of them unlock a market of over 300 million people across Southeast Asia the way Eala does. That is not a tennis opportunity, that is a business revolution. Rather than simply sign her, Nike built an entire world around her. It started with something small, deeply personal. At Wimbledon 2025, for Eala's very first center court appearance, Nike surprised her with a bespoke hair tie, shaped like a sampaguita blossom, the national flower of the Philippines. No shoe deal announcement, no billboard campaign, just a handwritten note referencing her journey, her roots, everything she had sacrificed to reach that moment. Eala posted it on Instagram and wrote, "A reminder of where I come from and everything that brought me here." Within hours, the post went viral across Southeast Asia. Teaming up with Manila-based artist Georgina Camus, Nike then dropped a limited edition Nike By You in Full Bloom collection, a t-shirt featuring the sampaguita flower over a tennis court, sold exclusively in the Philippines. Eala unveiled it on the cover of Vogue Philippines. The message was impossible to miss. This isn't a sponsorship, this is a cultural partnership, but here's the part nobody's talking about. Just days ago, Eala landed in the United States ahead of Indian Wells in Miami Open. Before hitting the practice courts, she made a stop at Nike's world headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. Inside that building sits a tunnel, a legendary hallway lined with tributes to Nike's greatest athletes across every sport in history. Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Cristiano Ronaldo, icons. Turning a corner, Eala froze. Her own image, full size, hanging in that tunnel, hands on her face, tears in her eyes, captured from the moment she reached the Miami Open semifinals last year. Right there on the wall for the whole world to see. Underneath it, 3 words, history in full bloom. She took a photo mirroring the display, same pose, same hands on her face, and posted it. Filipinos across the world lost it. Confirmed reports now show Nike recently renewed her contract in a deal reportedly worth $75 million.
These tournaments are such great experiences for me, especially playing in front of the best crowd ever. And
She goes for her shots without any doubt, I would say.
This was definitely one of the bigger Filipino turnouts. Also, New York was huge.
Making her one of the most valuable female tennis assets the brand has ever invested in. Now contrast all of that with what's happening to Aryna Sabalenka, because this is where the story turns uncomfortable. 8 years of loyalty. During that time, she climbed to world number 1, won back-to-back US Opens, and posted a staggering 63-12 record in 2025 alone. By any measure, Sabalenka is the most dominant women's tennis player on the planet right now. Despite all of this, Nike only handed her a first exclusive Grand Slam kit in 2023. 6 years into their partnership, 6 years. Then it gets worse. At Roland Garros 2025, Sabalenka stepped onto the clay in her exclusive electric blue outfit, only for another player, Jacqueline Christian, to appear in an almost identical dress the very next day. Fans erupted online. "Imagine being ranked number 1 and not getting proper custom fits," one wrote. Then at the US Open 2025 qualifying, it happened again. A qualifier stepped onto court wearing the same cutout design supposedly created exclusively for the defending champion. Fans called it embarrassing, disrespectful, many demanded Sabalenka walk away from Nike entirely. Then came the moment that confirmed everything. At the WTA Finals press conference in Riyadh, a reporter asked about her stunning tailor-made outfit and what fans could expect for 2026. Her answer was pure honesty and a little heartbreak. "Yeah, unfortunately, next season, it's just not going to be that special for me. Maybe we should start messaging Nike on Instagram and put some pressure on. Let's wait for 2027, because that year is going to be sick."
Maybe we should just start messaging Nike Instagram and putting some pressure on, but let's wait for 2027 because that year is going to be sick. And yeah, unfortunately, next season it's not going to be that special for me, but exactly.
The reigning champion, publicly asking fans to pressure her own sponsor, already fast-forwarding 2 years just to feel something to look forward to on court. So why is this happening? Why does Nike treat these two athletes so differently? Simple, Nike is not in the business of rewarding the present. They are in the business of buying the future. Sabalenka is 27, at the absolute peak of her powers. But Nike's contracts are built around decade-long visions, brand trajectories, market domination. Eala is 20, ranked 31 and climbing, representing a market Nike has barely scratched, carrying the kind of cultural magnetism that cannot be manufactured or purchased. It either exists or it doesn't. Losing Coco Gauff to New Balance stung badly. Nike had watched Gauff rise, hesitated, and paid the price when she signed elsewhere and became one of the most marketable athletes in the sport. That mistake cost them enormously. With Eala, they moved fast, moved big, and made it deeply personal. The gap in treatment between these two athletes tells you everything about where Nike believes women's tennis is heading next.
I do my best. I do what I can, and just if I see an opening.
Well, she's being told X, Y, and Z, and I don't think get out of that.
So young, and she's just coming through. So, and obviously the first couple rounds, the schedule is so packed.
Eala's portrait now hangs in Nike's legendary tunnel. The world #1 can't get a signature outfit, brilliant strategy, or pure disrespect. That depends entirely on who you're rooting for. Women's tennis is shifting. The money, the attention, the power, it's all moving. And Nike is already on the right side of what comes next. Now it's your turn. Is Nike making the smartest move in sports marketing right now? Or are they disrespecting the greatest player in the world? Team Eala or Team Sabalenka? Drop it in the comments right now. Let's see which side takes over.